start surrounding yourself with people that have a different way of thinking, that have different mindsets, that are more successful. Pretty soon the conversation becomes different. You're not talking about the same boring shit that's getting you nowhere in your life. You start talking about bigger things. You start talking about new goals. You start talking about making more money. You start talking about different things. The conversation changes. Your life changes. Welcome to another episode of the JJ Velasquez Show. I'm your host, JJ Velasquez, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about why it's so important to surround yourself with a winning circle, why having winners in your life can get you so much farther. And of course, we always hear that all the time. Oh, you're like the 5 people you hang out with the most. If you hang out with losers, you're going to be a loser. You hang out with overweight people, you're going to be overweight. You hang out with millionaires, you're going to be the next millionaire. We hear that all the time. But I want to share with you what that looks like in real time from my own experience and how this can help you really level up your life if you start hanging around the right people. So first off, I want to start off by sharing exactly what it looks like to have those losers in your life. And maybe you can relate to having some of these friends, but then also what it can be like when you have the right people on your circle as well. Now, back in my high school days, I was very thin. I got picked on when I was little. And so as I got older, I always wanted to surround myself with people like big guys, people that can protect me, people that could fight good. And so, of course, I started hanging out with those people. Now, those people always liked me because I was the guy that got good grades. They would cheat off my tests and get good grades because of me. So that's kind of where we exchanged it because I was the skinny guy and stuff. But I always hung out with these people. And of course, I was always protected. Every time I get in a fight, I'd have these guys with me. They'd be my backbone. They'd be here to support me. And, of course, I never got beat up because of that. So I surrounded myself with those people. But at the same time, back then I didn't know. I was hanging around all these people that always caused trouble. They always started fights. They would get in fights just because they wanted to look cool or because they got girls, because they can beat up people. They would beat up people for no reason, and I hung out with this one guy in particular. We were like best friends growing up. I used to go to his house all the time. We used to hang out. And for years and years and years, he was my best friend through, high school and everything like that. But as we started getting later on in life, he would, we'd always hang out and he would be the guy, like I said, that would get in fights and stuff like that. And finally it caught up to him. He would just go bash people's cars and just do all this crazy shit. And eventually he got busted for, getting into drugs and doing stupid shit. And so he actually went to jail. And so I didn't talk to him for a few years, never heard from him. A couple years later on, I got a message from Facebook. I kind of forgot about him at that point, and he sent me a request and was telling me he was having a hard time getting a job and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh man, do I want to hang out with you anymore? Like, you sound like trouble. But he was my friend. So, okay, that's cool. Let's hang out again and everything. One day he came over to my house, and pretty soon we're just hanging out in the backyard, and helicopters start flying around the roof of my house. And he's like, oh crap, I need to get in your house. I realized that he was using me and using my house to hide from the cops, to protect himself, and so I was just like, oh my God. So of course he went in my house, hid, and then, the cops never found him or whatever. But then it was at that point I was like, man, I cannot have this guy in my life. You're endangering my family. You're just, you're nothing but trouble. I cannot surround myself with this. I'm not going to go to jail because of dumb stuff that you did. I don't want to surround myself with you anymore. So that was kind of the last time I talked to him. I started, ignoring all his calls and everything like that because I just knew that I can't be around that. I can't have that in my life. And then I didn't hear from him for years again. And I guess he went back to jail or something like that. And now to this day, he still sends me friend requests, and I don't even add him no more. I haven't even talked to him in years just because I realized that he wasn't someone that I needed in my life. And I look back now to these guys that I was friends with in high school or the popular kids, and it's like, what are they doing with their lives now? Not really much, so it's like, who cares who we were friends with back then, popular or not, whatever. It's like, what are we doing now? Where are we taking our lives now? So maybe we've had some of those friends where it's just like, we just know that we come to a point where we know that these people in our lives aren't getting us anywhere. They're either trouble, they're just talking about the partying on the weekends. So there comes a point in our lives where we have to decide if the people currently in our lives are actually aligned with the goals that we have, the vision that we have. Are they helping us get to where we want, or are they holding us back? Are they the negative influences, the people that come to you whenever there's just drama, or just all they do is talk crap on other people? They just want to talk about drinking and partying and, same shit. And they're in the same exact situation for years and years and years. Those aren't the people that we want to surround ourselves with. We want to cut those people off. Those are the people we want to stay away from, never doing anything to improve, staying where they're at. If anything, they're holding us back. So we have to be okay with, hey, cutting off those people and limiting our times with them, because guess what? As we grow older, as we develop new chapters in our life, maybe those people aren't the people that are meant to be in our lives. They provided a chapter in our lives. They helped build something, or they helped us get through a part of our lives. But are they aligned with the next chapter in our life? And if not, that's when we have to decide to make that cut. And there's nothing wrong with it. One of the best things I've actually done for myself was starting over, moving to a whole new city where I had no friends, when I knew nobody, because I didn't have the bad influences in my life. I didn't have the friends saying, hey, let's go drink this weekend. Hey, let's go party. Let's go to this rave. Let's do this. Let's get into trouble. Let's do this. Like, I didn't have those influences in my life anymore. So that was one of the best things I did, because then I was able to start fresh and just work on me, work on myself. I had no other influences, and I took that time to become the best version of me. That's when I really worked on myself, did lots of self-development, started my business and everything like that. And then I started surrounding myself with different people. And even to this day, I was just having a conversation with a friend earlier. We're talking about business, email marketing, funnels, like boring stuff. And then even the other day at a mastermind I was at, I was talking to one of my friends and giving him some fitness tips, and he was giving me some business tips. And those are the kind of people and the kind of conversations we want in our life. People that are doing better things, people that have different goals, people that have higher goals, people that are always doing more, pushing more. Because when we surround ourselves with those type of people, we align with them. We're going to have the same goals, the same mission, the same drive, and we're going to do better things with our lives. And one of the best things that I can tell you is that the real power of having a winning circle and having just friends that have either succeeded in life or have had success in an area in life that you want to succeed at, you can start to learn their habits, their disciplines, and things like that. But in fact, one of my worst times in my life, when I had just got done, I was going through a breakup, just fell down. One of my buddies, Tarek El Musa, he does TV shows and he does lots of stuff, house flips and stuff like that. I actually met him, back when I was doing my photography and stuff like that. But in this hard time, he knew that I was going through it, and he actually reached out to me, and he knew what I was going through, and he sent me a video. And it was a motivational video of him when he actually was struggling at his worst, when he was going through cancer, and when no one believed in him, and he was going through a divorce and all this stuff, and very similar situation. But he sent me that video, and he's like, Jay, you got this. You can do this. I've been there. I know exactly what you're going through. I've been there. If I can do it, you can do it. I believe in you. Keep going, keep pushing. You got this. And I was just like, man, that video inspired me so much. And I just realized the power of just like, man, like, thank you. Like, I needed that at that time. And that's, it got me really fired up again. And of course, my life has, increased. Now I've worked a lot on myself and I've improved lots of situations, but it was in that situation when I was at one of the worst points of my life. And it's like, do we have those friends that are just going to bring us down and say, oh, let's go drink it off. Let's go to the bar and, let's go fuck bitches and let's just go do all this stuff and just, bring us down? Or are we going to have friends that push us and say, hey, Jay, you got this, man. Dust it off. Let's keep going. Keep pushing. Those are the kind of people we want in our lives. And if we don't have those friends, we need to start surrounding ourselves with those people. We need to start searching for those friends, because those are the people that are going to help you succeed in life. And that's exactly why I plug into different masterminds. That's exactly why I go to seminars. I've gone to lots of seminars by myself, because maybe I didn't have the friends at that time that had the same goals, that had the same vision as me, but I wasn't going to let that stop me. I knew where I wanted to be in life. So I would go to seminars by myself and I would meet new people. I would get introduced to new people. Then pretty soon you start leveling up your circle. I would plug into these different groups of people, and you start surrounding yourself with people that have a different way of thinking, that have different mindsets, that are more successful, and you start to become friends with them. Pretty soon the conversation becomes different. You're not talking about the same boring shit that's getting you nowhere in your life. You start talking about bigger things. You start talking about new goals. You start talking about making more money. You start talking about different things. The conversation changes, your life changes. And that's what can really happen if we start surrounding ourselves with the right people. So if you don't have those friends in your life, and you look around right now and the 5 people that you hang out with the most are broke, they're overweight, they're not where you want to be in life, we have to cut them off. I just want different things for my life, and we have to be okay with that. Hey, I'm going to go in a new direction. Hey, thanks. We had a great time together, but hey, and that goes for anything, even our relationships. If we're in a situation where we're not happy, where this person's bringing us down, they're not aligned with where we want to be, we have to make those cuts. Because at the end of the day, if we never improve our circle, if we never keep improving, what is going to happen? We're going to stay exactly the same. Nothing's going to change. So we have to really look back at our circle and ask ourselves, are these people bringing us up? Are these people going to be the people that are there for you when you need them? Or are these the friends that they're only there to bring you down? They're only there for their own benefit. But instead, if you just start surrounding yourself with the right people and provide value to these people's lives, you'll never know what you align with different people. Sometimes, lots of guys, maybe they're successful in business, but I'm very successful in fitness as well. So I provide my value. Hey, this is what we can do to get in shape. And just like Tarek, I was actually training him for a while because, hey, he was very successful at business. I was very successful at fitness. I was training him, and we shared lots of ideas. I helped him get in better shape. He gave me lots of business nuggets and, things like that. And that's, so if we come with the value first and we try to provide value and the giving hand to people, and instead of like, hey, what can this person do for me? Hey, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Anything I can do for you? We're going to start meeting new people. You're going to start being more valuable to people, and then you can level up your circle. So I encourage you, even if you don't have any of these friends right now, that's what social media is for. You don't know how many guys and how much connections I made just through social media. Hey, DMing people, having a conversation with them, and then I would go work out with them. That's my thing. I'd go work out with them, and because that's what I align with. And I've met lots of friends and lots of really cool people just by, hey, let's go get in a workout. Let's crush that workout. You guys vibe together. So that's one of the things I've always done to meet new connections, because that's, fitness is very important to my life, and I like to hang out with fit people. So we'd go vibe, and maybe this person's successful in another area, and we connect on different areas and realize that we have similar mindsets and similar goals. And hey, now we just increased our circle. So social media is a great place to start. You can meet tons of connections on there. And then, of course, go to seminars, go to the places where the people that you want to hang out with are hanging out with. You go to a bar, you're going to hang out with a bunch of deadbeats, a bunch of people that just want to get drunk and party every weekend. Those aren't the people that you want to surround yourself with. You go to a business seminar where people are like, damn, I want to grind. I want to make more money. I want to do different shit with my life. Damn, that's exactly who I want to hang out with, because that's what's going to help me level up my life. I want to hang out with those type of people. You guys are going to vibe together. You have similar goals, and that's exactly how you can increase your circle and keep getting better. So there's so many ways we can increase our circle. So we should always be striving to increase our circle, provide value to people, come with a giving hand, make different connections, step outside of your comfort zone. Be willing to go to a seminar by yourself. Be willing to go to dinner by yourself. Be willing to do different things so you can start getting different results. It's some of the best things I've ever done for myself. And I would have never met these people. I would have never had the friend group that I have now if I wanted to have gone to seminars, if I wanted to have sent DMs to people, if I wanted to went and worked out with people. I've done this stuff, and maybe it seems a little bit weird at first, but what's the worst that could happen? No. What's the best thing that could happen? Oh, now you're friends, you have a good connection, you have a new relationship where this person's providing value to you, new ways of thinking, you're providing value to them. So you never know where different connections could take you in life. And that's why we always want to have a winning circle. If you're surrounded by nothing but millionaires, what do you think is going to happen to you? If you're surrounded by only fit people, what do you think is going to happen to you? You're going to develop those habits, those disciplines, and pretty soon you're going to be next. So drop the deadbeats and start surrounding yourself with people that are going to push you to new levels, people that are going to help you grow, people that are going to help you step outside of that comfort zone, people that are going to be there for you in the struggles and in the rough times, and people that are going to pull you up to new levels. You provide value to them, they provide value to you, your circle grows. Life gets better when you do. That's how we do it. 1% better every single day. Let's go.